Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of UAI.CAST. I'm Lauren Phillips, and today we're going to talk about a subject that's completely transforming the business world. Have you ever stopped to think that maybe your company is missing incredible opportunities while your competitors are already using artificial intelligence to automate processes, serve customers better, and even make smarter decisions? Today, I have Rafael Luz with me, founder of Uaicode AI, an agency specialized in creating AI agents and automations, based in Florida. Rafael, welcome to UAI.CAST.
Lauren, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here talking with you all. And look, you've already hit the nail on the head. While some companies are asking themselves, do I need AI? Others are already reaping the benefits of this transformation. That's exactly what we're going to talk about today.
Perfect. And Rafael, before we dive into the subject, tell me a little bit about yourself and how Uaicode AI came about.
Sure. So I've been a software engineer for over 15 years, and in recent years, I've been observing a radical shift in the market. I started to realize that artificial intelligence was no longer that sci-fi movie thing. It was becoming a real, practical tool that any company could use to solve day-to-day problems. That's when I founded Uaicode AI, focused on creating intelligent agents and automations that really make a difference in company operations.
Rafael, you mentioned this radical market shift. Nowadays, we hear a lot about digital transformation, but when we talk specifically about AI, what's the real urgency? Why can't companies postpone this decision anymore?
Lauren, let me give you a very practical example. Do you know Blockbuster? It was a giant in the movie rental market. When Netflix came along with streaming, Blockbuster had the opportunity to adapt, but they thought it was just a fad. Result? They went bankrupt in a few years. Today, we're living through a similar moment, but much more accelerated. AI isn't a trend that's going to pass, it's the new reality. Companies that don't adapt now will face the same fate as Blockbuster. The difference is that today transformation happens in months, not years.
That's scary, but give me a more concrete example of how this is happening now.
Perfect. Think about a traditional accounting firm. Before, an accountant would take hours to process a client's tax documentation. Today, with specialized AI agents, that same process can be done in minutes, with much more precision. The company that doesn't adopt this technology simply can't compete on price or speed anymore. Or think about an e-commerce business. While a traditional online store has customer service limited to business hours, a company with intelligent chatbots serves customers 24/7, automatically resolves 80% of problems, and still personalizes the experience for each customer. Who do you think is going to sell more?
Wow, that really makes sense. But Rafael, for a company that hasn't started this journey yet, where should they begin?
Excellent question, Lauren. Many business owners get paralyzed because they think they need to revolutionize everything at once. But the truth is that AI transformation should be gradual and strategic. The first step is to identify your company's pain points. You know those tasks that consume a lot of your team's time and are repetitive? Those are perfect candidates for AI automation.
That's incredible, but what about service quality? Doesn't the client notice they're talking to a machine?
That's the beauty of modern AI agents, Lauren. They're trained specifically for your business. They know all your products, services, policies. Often the service becomes even better than human service because the agent is never in a bad mood, never forgets information, and always has the answer at their fingertips. And when something more complex comes up that needs human intervention, the agent automatically transfers to the right person already with all the conversation context. The client doesn't even notice the transition.
Rafael, this leads me to an important question. Many companies have internal IT teams. What's the real challenge these teams are facing with AI advancement?
Lauren, this is one of the most critical issues I see in the market today. IT teams are overloaded. They already have to maintain all the infrastructure running, solve day-to-day problems, implement new systems, and now they also need to become AI specialists. It's like asking a traditional car mechanic to fix a Tesla. They're completely different technologies that require specific knowledge.
And what's the practical impact of this?
What happens is that many companies get stuck. The CEO wants to implement AI, But the IT team doesn't have the time or a specialized knowledge, so they try to do it internally, spend months or even years, and in the end, the result doesn't meet expectations. I recently worked with a logistics company that had been trying for 8 months to create an AI system to optimize routes. The IT team was racking their brains, testing various tools, but couldn't get off the ground. In 3 weeks, our team delivered a solution that reduced fuel costs by 30%.
Wow. But doesn't this create conflict with the internal team?
On the contrary, the idea isn't to replace the IT team, but to free them up to focus on what really matters. When a specialized agency takes care of the AI part, the internal team can concentrate on maintaining and improving the existing infrastructure, which is fundamental for the business. It's a partnership, not competition. The IT team continues to be essential, but now with a more strategic focus.
Speaking of partnership, Rafael, explain better to our listeners how exactly an AI agency helps in this transformation. What's the difference between trying to do this internally versus hiring a specialized agency?
Lauren, I'll use an analogy that always works. Imagine you want to build a house. You can try to do everything yourself, buy materials, learn masonry, electrical, plumbing, or you can hire a specialized construction company that has already built hundreds of houses. With AI, it's the same thing. A specialized agency has already gone through all the mistakes, already tested all the tools, already knows which technologies work for each type of problem. This means you save time, money, and, most importantly, avoid frustrations.
And what are the practical benefits of this approach?
First, speed. What would take months for an internal team to develop, an external agency delivers in weeks. Second, quality. We're talking about professionals who breathe AI every day, who know best practices, common pitfalls. Third, and perhaps most important, is strategic vision. An agency won't just solve the specific problem you brought. It will analyze your entire business and identify other opportunities you never imagined existed.
Can you give an example of this strategic vision?
Sure. We had a client who approached us to automate only customer service. But during our analysis, we discovered they were losing a lot of money with stagnant inventory. We created an AI agent that not only improved customer service, but also started predicting demand and optimizing purchases. The ROI was 300% higher than expected. This happens because when you're inside the problem, sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees. An external and specialized view brings insights that make all the difference.
Rafael, with so many possibilities, how does a company know which AI strategies really make sense for their business? Is there some kind of one-size-fits-all solution?
Lauren, that's a fundamental question. There's no one-size-fits-all solution because every company is unique, but there are patterns and strategies that work better for each type of business. The first step is always to do a complete diagnosis. It's like going to the doctor. Before prescribing medicine, they need to understand what the symptoms are, run tests, understand the history.
And how does this diagnosis work in practice?
We analyze 3 fundamental pillars. First, processes. Where are the bottlenecks? Which tasks consume the most time? Where are there more human errors? Second, data. What information the company already has, how it's organized, what insights can be extracted. Third, objectives. What the company wants to achieve. Reduce costs, increase sales, improve service. Based on this analysis, we create a personalized roadmap. For example, for a restaurant, it might make sense to start with an automated ordering system. For a consulting firm, maybe it's better to focus on an agent that qualifies leads. For a manufacturing company, it could be production optimization.
And how do you ensure that the chosen strategy will actually deliver results?
Excellent question. We always work with pilot projects. Instead of implementing everything at once, we start with a specific process, measure results, adjust if necessary, and only then expand. We had a client in the education sector who wanted to automate the entire enrollment process. We started only with visit scheduling. In 30 days, we saw a 40% increase in lead-to-scheduled visit conversion. Only then did we expand to other process stages. This approach ensures that each AI investment brings proven returns before moving to the next step.
Rafael, one concern many business owners have is, okay, I'm going to implement AI, but will my team know how to use it? Won't they be afraid of being replaced?
Lauren, this is probably the #1 concern of business owners, and it's totally understandable. But I'll tell you something. In my experience, when implementation is done correctly, the team not only embraces the technology, but becomes more productive and satisfied. The secret is in how you present and implement AI. If you come in saying, we're going to automate everything to cut costs, obviously it's going to generate resistance. But if you show how AI will eliminate boring and repetitive tasks so they can focus on what really matters, the reaction is completely different.
Can you give a practical example of this perspective shift?
Sure. We had a real estate client where realtors spent 60% of their time doing administrative tasks, registering leads, sending proposals, scheduling visits. They were frustrated because they got into the profession to sell, not to do paperwork. When we implemented AI agents to handle these tasks, realtors had 60% more time to do what they really love, serving clients, showing properties, closing deals. The result? 45% increase in sales and a much more motivated team.
And how does the team training process work?
Training is part of our implementation process. There's no point in delivering an incredible tool if people don't know how to use it. We create personalized training, always with simple language, focusing on each role's day-to-day. For a salesperson, for example, we show how the AI agent will deliver more qualified leads, how to interpret customer behavior reports, and how to use insights to personalize approach. For a manager, we explain how to track real-time metrics, how to identify improvement opportunities. The important thing is that each person clearly understands how AI will make their job easier, not complicated.
And how long does it take for the team to fully adapt?
It varies, but normally in 2 to 4 weeks, the team is already operating naturally with the new tools. What helps a lot is that modern AI agents are intuitive. Often they're easier to use than the old systems they replace. And we always leave a period of intensive support in the first weeks to answer questions, make adjustments, ensure everyone feels comfortable. The idea is for the transition to be smooth, not traumatic.
Rafael, you mentioned specialized agents. Explain better this idea of vertical agents. How does this work in practice within a company?
Well, this is one of the most interesting parts of modern AI. Instead of having a generic system that tries to do everything, we create specialized agents for each area of the company, each with specific knowledge of their function. It's like having a team of specialists working 24 hours a day. Each agent deeply understands their sector and can make intelligent decisions within their area of expertise.
This sounds complex. How do these agents talk to each other?
Actually, it's simpler than it seems. The agents are designed to work together, sharing information when necessary. It's like a well-organized company where each department has its specialty, but everyone works toward the same goal. Let me give a practical example. In an e-commerce company, we have the sales agent that talks to customers, the inventory agent that monitors products, the financial agent that tracks payments, and the logistics agent that optimizes deliveries.
All of this happens in seconds without human intervention, but each agent using their specific expertise. The result is a much more efficient and intelligent process. Which sectors benefit most from this vertical approach?
Practically all of them, Lauren. But I'll highlight some where we see the most impressive results. In healthcare, we have agents specialized in patient triage, appointment scheduling, medication reminders, exam analysis. Each one understands the particularities of the medical field. In retail, customer service agents, inventory management, trend analysis, dynamic pricing, each focused on maximizing their area's performance. In education, agents for enrollment, pedagogical monitoring, parent communication, grade management, all working to improve the educational experience.
Rafael, our listeners love practical examples. Can you share some real cases where these vertical agents made a significant difference?
Absolutely, Lauren. I'll tell you about 3 cases that really show the power of this approach. First case, a gym chain with 15 locations. They had a serious cancellation problem. Many members would stop attending and cancel their membership. We created a retention specialist agent that monitors each member's attendance. When someone stops going for more than a week, the agent automatically reaches out, asks if everything's okay, offers trial classes at other times, suggests personal training. Result, 40% reduction in membership cancellations.
Wow, that's impressive. And the second case?
The second is an accounting firm. They were losing a lot of time with clients calling to ask about deadlines, necessary documents, process status. We created an agent specialized in accounting service that knows all legislation, all deadlines, all procedures. Now, when a client asks, "When is my company's corporate tax due?" the agent not only answers the date, but also lists all necessary documents, sends automatic reminders, and even suggests tax planning strategies. The accounting team now focuses only on complex technical work.
And the third case?
The third is a construction company. They had difficulty tracking the progress of multiple construction sites simultaneously. We created specialized agents for each construction stage: foundation, structure, finishing. Each agent monitors deadlines, costs, quality, and automatically alerts when something goes off plan. For example, if the structure agent detects that concrete didn't reach expected strength, it automatically schedules new concrete pouring, adjusts timeline, and informs everyone involved. The result was a 25% reduction in project delivery time and 15% in construction costs.
These results are really impressive. But tell me, Rafael, how long does it take to implement these agents and start seeing results?
Excellent question. One of the advantages of specialized agents is that they can be implemented gradually. Normally, the first agent is ready in 2 to 3 weeks, and results start appearing immediately. In the gym case I mentioned, in 30 days we had already identified and recovered 15 members who were about to cancel. In the accounting case, in 15 days, the agent was already automatically answering 70% of client inquiries. The beauty of this approach is that you don't need to wait months to see returns. Each implemented agent already brings immediate benefits while we prepare the next ones.
Rafael, with so many companies starting to adopt AI, how can a company really stand out from the competition? Isn't there a risk of everyone becoming the same?
Lauren, that's a legitimate concern, but actually the opposite happens. Well-implemented AI doesn't standardize companies, it amplifies each business's unique characteristics. Think about it this way. 2 pizzerias can use the same type of oven, but each pizza's flavor will be completely different, depending on the recipe, ingredients, pizzaiolo's experience. With AI, it's the same. Technology is the tool, but differentiation comes from how you use it.
Can you explain better how this works in practice?
Sure. Let's imagine 2 clothing stores that implement customer service chatbots. The first trains the agent only to answer basic product questions. The second goes further, trains the agent to understand each customer's personal style, suggest combinations, remember previous preferences, even notify when a piece arrives that matches the person's taste. Both are using AI, but the customer experience is completely different. The second store stands out because it used technology to amplify what it already did well: knowing and caring for customers.
And what are the main differentiators that AI can create?
There are several ways to stand out with AI. First, personalization at scale. You can offer a unique experience to each customer, even having thousands of them. Second, speed and availability. While your competitors serve during business hours, you serve 24/7 with the same quality. Third, unique insights. With AI analyzing your data, you discover patterns your competitors don't even imagine exist. For example, discovering that customers who buy product A have an 80% chance of buying product B in the next 30 days.
This reminds me of some companies we know that really stood out with AI. Do you have any examples?
I have several. One that really sticks with me is a construction materials store. They implemented an agent that not only sells products, but also helps customers calculate quantities needed for projects, suggests more economical alternatives, and even creates purchase schedules. Result, they became consultants, not just sellers. Customers started looking for the store not just to buy, but to ask for advice on projects. This created incredible loyalty.
Why look for another supplier if you already have one that helps you plan everything?
This really changes the relationship with the customer, right?
Exactly. AI allows you to exit price competition and enter value competition. Instead of fighting to see who sells cheaper, you compete to see who better solves customer problems. And here's the secret. The more value you deliver, the less price-sensitive the customer becomes. They prefer to pay a little more to someone who really takes care of them.
Rafael, let's talk about day-to-day operations. What are the practical changes that a business owner will feel after implementing AI in the company?
Lauren, the changes are so significant that many clients tell me they feel like they have a completely new company. Let me tell you about the main transformations they report. First change, you stop putting out fires all the time. You know that feeling of always running after problems? With AI, many problems are solved automatically before they even reach you. It's like having an assistant who takes care of everything behind the scenes.
That must be a huge relief for any business owner.
Without a doubt. Second change, you get real-time information about everything happening in the company. Instead of discovering problems at the end of the month when you see the report, you're alerted the moment something goes off track. I had a client who discovered inventory shrinkage because the AI agent noticed a discrepancy between sales and product outflows. Without AI, he would only discover this during year-end inventory.
And in terms of customer relationships,
that's where the difference is most striking. You get to know your customers in a way you never imagined. AI maps behavior, preferences, purchase patterns. You can anticipate needs, surprise with personalized offers, solve problems before the customer complains. One of our tourism sector clients can predict when a customer is thinking about traveling based on search history and interactions. So they send personalized offers at the right moment. Conversion rate increased 200%.
And what about the team? How does employees' day-to-day change?
The team becomes much more strategic and satisfied. Instead of wasting time on repetitive tasks, they focus on what really adds value. Salespeople sell more, managers manage better, customer service reps solve complex cases that really make a difference. And there's a benefit many don't expect: stress reduction. When you have intelligent systems taking care of operations, it greatly reduces day-to-day pressure. People work more calmly and productively.
and financially, what are the most common impacts?
Financial impacts are multiple, Lauren. First, operational cost reduction. Less rework, fewer errors, more efficient processes. Second, revenue increase. Better service, more assertive sales, customer retention. But what impresses most is predictability. With AI analyzing patterns, you can predict cash flow, demand, seasonality. This allows much more precise planning and smarter decisions. I had a client who managed to reduce inventory by 30% without losing sales simply because AI started predicting demand accurately. This freed up working capital that was reinvested in company growth.
Rafael, for a company that's convinced of the benefits but doesn't know where to start, what are the first steps to prepare the organization to receive AI?
Lauren, this preparation is fundamental for implementation success. Many companies want to jump straight to technology, but without a solid foundation, results fall short of potential. The first step is organizing data. AI feeds on information, so you need to have your data organized and accessible. This doesn't mean it needs to be perfect, but at least centralized and with minimum structure.
And how does a company know if their data is ready for AI?
Good question. It doesn't need to be anything too complex. If you can answer basic questions like, how many customers do we have? What's our best-selling product? What's our average service time? Your data is probably already at a usable level. The second step is defining clear objectives. There's no point implementing AI because everyone's doing it. You need to know exactly what you want to achieve. Reduce costs, increase sales, improve service. Each objective will direct a different strategy.
And what about company culture? Does this influence?
It influences a lot. The third step is preparing organizational culture. Leadership needs to be aligned and committed to transformation. If the CEO says they want to innovate, but in practice resist changes, implementation will be a disaster.
It's important to clearly communicate to the entire team AI benefits, how it will facilitate each person's work, and that it's not a threat, but a tool to enhance what they already do well.
And in terms of technical infrastructure?
Here's good news. The necessary infrastructure today is much simpler than people imagine. With cloud solutions, you don't need to invest in expensive servers or hire a giant IT team. In most cases, if your company already uses computers and internet, current infrastructure is sufficient to start. As AI brings results, you can gradually evolve.
And how long does all this preparation take?
It depends on company size and complexity, but normally between 2 to 4 weeks, you can do this initial preparation. The important thing is not to use this as an excuse to postpone. Often, you can start with pilot projects while organizing the rest of the preparation. I've had clients who started with a simple WhatsApp chatbot while organizing internal data. In 30 days, they were already seeing results, and this gave motivation to accelerate the rest of the preparation. The secret is to start small, but start soon. Every day you postpone is a lost opportunity to be ahead of the competition.
Rafael, speaking of partnership, how should a company choose the right AI agency? What are the most important criteria?
Lauren, this is a crucial decision because you're not just hiring a vendor. You're choosing a strategic partner to transform your business. There are some fundamental criteria every company should consider. First criterion, proven experience in your sector. Each industry has its particularities, regulations, specific challenges. An agency that has already worked with companies similar to yours will much better understand your needs and avoid common pitfalls.
And how do you evaluate this experience in practice?
Ask for specific success cases from your sector. Don't accept generic answers. If you're in retail, you want to see results from other retail companies. If you're in healthcare, you want healthcare examples. A good agency will be happy to share detailed cases with real ROI numbers. Second criterion, structured methodology. Run from agencies that promise miraculous solutions in a week. Serious AI implementation requires diagnosis, planning, development, testing, training. Be suspicious of anyone who skips steps.
And what about post-implementation support?
Excellent point. Third criterion, continuous support and evolution. AI isn't a project you implement and forget. Technology evolves rapidly, new models emerge, your needs change. You need an agency that's truly a partner, not just a vendor. Fourth criterion, total transparency. You should understand exactly how agents work, have access to data, be able to make adjustments when necessary. Run from black boxes where you don't know what's happening inside.
And in terms of investment, how do you evaluate if the price is fair?
Fifth criterion, clear and measurable ROI. A good agency will be able to project return on investment based on real data from your business. If someone can't explain how you'll recover the investment, it's a red flag. Remember, AI isn't an expense, it's an investment. If implemented correctly, it pays for itself in a few months and continues generating returns for years.
And how do you ensure the partnership will work long-term?
Sixth criterion, cultural and values alignment. You'll work intimately with this agency, share sensitive data, trust important decisions. It's fundamental to have chemistry between teams and aligned expectations. Seventh and final criterion, innovation capacity. The AI world changes very fast. You want an agency that's always at the forefront, testing new technologies, bringing innovations to their clients.
These criteria make a lot of sense. And how do you start this partnership the right way?
The ideal is always to start with a pilot project. This allows both parties to get to know each other better, test methodology, validate results before making larger investments. At Uaicode, for example, we always offer a free opportunity diagnosis. We analyze the company, identify the highest potential points, and present a detailed roadmap. Only after the client is 100% convinced of the benefits do we move to implementation. This approach ensures there are no surprises, expectations are aligned, and the partnership starts off on the right foot.
Rafael, to wrap up our conversation, tell us a bit more about Uaicode AI. What do you do differently in the market?
Lauren, Uaicode was born from a personal frustration of mine. I saw many companies trying to implement AI and not getting practical results, either because the solution was too technical and complex, or because it wasn't aligned with real business needs. Our mission is to democratize AI, making this technology accessible and practical for companies of all sizes. It doesn't matter if you have 5 or 500 employees. Everyone deserves access to artificial intelligence benefits.
And what's the differential of your approach?
Our differential lies in 3 pillars. First, simplicity. We create solutions that anyone can use without needing to be a technology specialist. Second, fast results. Our clients start seeing benefits in the first weeks, not months. Third, and most important, true partnership. We're not just vendors, we're strategic consultants. We deeply understand each client's business and create tailor-made solutions to maximize impact.
And for our listeners who are interested, how can they better understand your work?
Lauren, for UAI.CAST listeners, we're offering something special, a free and complete diagnosis of AI opportunities in the company. In this diagnosis, our team will analyze all your company's processes, identify where AI can generate the most impact, calculate potential ROI, and deliver a detailed implementation roadmap. All of this at no cost.
And how do you schedule this diagnosis?
It's very simple. Just access our website, Uaicode AI, and click Schedule Free Diagnosis. Or if you prefer, you can send a message on our WhatsApp that's on the site. Our team will get in touch within 24 hours to schedule a conversation. The diagnosis is done online, lasts about an hour, and at the end, you'll have a complete view of how AI can transform your business. Even if you decide not to proceed with implementation, you'll leave with valuable insights about your company.
And what's the profile of companies that benefit most from your work?
We work with companies from all sectors and sizes, but our best results are with companies that have between 10 and 200 employees, that already have established processes but want to grow more intelligently and efficiently. If you're a business owner and feel that your company could be more productive, that you're missing opportunities due to lack of agility, or that your competitors are getting ahead, this diagnosis could be the first step toward an incredible transformation.
Rafael, it was an enormous pleasure having you here on UAICAST. I'm sure our listeners left with a much clearer vision about the power of AI in business.
Lauren, the pleasure was all mine. I hope our listeners have realized that AI is no longer sci-fi movie stuff. It's a reality that can transform any business regardless of size or sector. And remember, every day you postpone this decision is an opportunity being lost. Digital transformation is no longer an option. It's a necessity to survive and thrive in today's market.
Folks, we've reached the end of another UAICAST episode. I hope you enjoyed this incredible conversation with Rafael Luz about how AI can completely transform your company as much as I did. If you're a business owner and got interested in discovering how artificial intelligence can revolutionize your business, don't miss the opportunity to do the free diagnosis that Rafael offered. Access Uaicode AI and schedule your analysis. And don't forget to subscribe to UAICAST, hit that like button, and share this episode with other business owners who need to hear this message. See you in the next episode.
Thank you, everyone. I'm available to help you on this digital transformation journey. Until next time,